So we're right about in the middle of this series, Becoming Essential, talking about how our church and the church at large, like right, the capital C church, can remain and become essential to our community, to our nation, to our world. And we've had just a couple weeks of conversations now with Chris and Garrett Shelp talking about the different ways in which our church can become that. There's 5 words that they have been talking about: bold, outward, creative, collaborative, vocal. And they talked last week about our boldness being the first step to becoming essential to our community today. And I wanted to just share with you a little bit of my experience with our church being bold, not as being a staff member, but as being someone who attended and was a part of the church, just as someone who came on the weekends, who's involved in youth group, wasn't, in an official role yet. And so the church was just such a place for me to come and experience Jesus, to come and experience wisdom from people who were older than me, who had more life experience, youth coaches, my youth pastors, lots of different people who were pouring into me at a time in my life where there wasn't a lot of things that were stable around me, right? My family was changing. I was in the midst of trying to figure out what I was going to do after high school, what I was going to do at college. Was I going to get a job? Was I going to move? Was I going to stay? And in the midst of all of that, our church, Christ Church, really stepped in a bold way and provided those people, provided the wisdom and the support around me in a time where that really wasn't happening. And so because of their boldness, I, as this young person, found healing and hope at our church. And that happens so many times. I mean, I have been in a front row seat to so many of our students' life and in the ways that our youth coaches have stepped in and been a voice of boldness in their life, a voice of truth, a voice of reason and wisdom, not just in the times where they've made a mistake and need someone to correct them, but especially in times when they're just looking for some advice, when they're looking for someone to be honest and to point them back to Jesus, right? It's this different, the difference of being essential and being, just an existence. That was one of the points they talked about last week. And that really stuck out to me because I think so often I can see just my existence as being important. And don't get me wrong, our existence, our lives, they're so important and they're so beautiful at times. But this idea of being essential, when was the last time you thought of yourself as being essential, right? I mean, it's kind of feels a little self-righteous to say, but being essential in someone's life. I definitely had those people in my life who I would have never expected to be essential. But throughout the weeks and the months that I continued to spend at church, those people became essential in my life because of their boldness. And so as we wrap up just, kind of my reflection about this last week's conversation, I would just challenge you: whose life are you essential in right now? I mean, really look at your community, the people that you are connected to. Is there a young person in your life who you're really trying to come alongside and provide some wisdom and support? And if you're young, could you have the humility to look up to someone older than you and say, I need you a part of my life because you have more experience, you have wisdom, knowledge, things that I don't have yet. Could you be bold and could you ask for that help in your life? It's a scary thing to do, but I encourage you, it is so worth it. Because when we surround ourselves with people who are bold, those people do become essential in our life. And I can tell you, it was so worth it for me. And I know it'll be worth it for you. So I challenge you. Become essential in someone's life. Take the boldness that it takes to reach out, to offer help. And also take the boldness to ask for help. That's scary too. Thanks for reflecting with me for just a couple of minutes here. I'm so excited for our next conversation coming up in just a couple days at Christ Church of Flagstaff about becoming essential.